So let's talk a little bit more about racism. Everyday racism, you can call it that, or just plain racism. Some people even call it discrimination, and I just call it racism. And I get accused of being a racist a lot because of ignorant people believing everything negative. People love the negative, and also not being able to interpret symbols, and also being stuck in a very negative mindset, not knowing history, not knowing, just basically being ignorant. That's where most racism stems from, I think. And so I'm gonna tell you about something that happened to me just about 1 week ago, on Sunday, the Sunday that was, 2 days after I got home from my vacation. And I washed my car, and I like to go for a drive on Sundays. And after I washed my car, I went for a drive, and I wound up on the close Sandvika is close to where I live. It's not a town, but it's like a small place, small town, you can say. And I usually drive through Sandvika a couple of times each week, seeing I live very close to it. And I also went up to way into the valley where I live, Lommedalen. I also often drive. I find it a nice drive. Sometimes I pick flowers when I'm there. I'm that kind of guy, weirdo, picking flowers. That's me. And so first, when I washed my car, I went all the way into the parking lot where you can park and you can walk the rest of the way, because there's like the road ends, and you can park the car and you can walk or bike. And I went there and I picked some flowers, me being strange and all. And there were a couple of people there, and while I was picking flowers, I was picking a few flowers, and I had them in my hand. And one guy, he was coming from across the parking lot, far away, straight for me. Young African, or 30s, 30 plus maybe. And he was walking straight towards me and my car where I stood. And I just, very strange, he looked angry and walked right towards me. So I just looked at him, and he just like, what's going on? And then he switched, because I thought maybe is he going for the car. The car was running. I leave my car running. That's better than starting and stopping. And you're supposed to, like, after you go for a drive, you're supposed to let the engine cool down, the turbos cool down. I do that. So when I was picking flowers, the car was just running. I just thought, does he want to get my car? Or so I looked at the car and I looked at him, and he was straight looking at me. So I figured he was coming for me. And when I stood up and looked at him, and then he just switched route. Instead of going for me, he switched like boom, to the side of me, and then he went right into the forest. There is no path there. So very strange. He just switched off the path to me and right into the forest. And I was like, what is going on? And the guy on the other side of the parking lot, he looks like he was standing there with a phone. Of course, that's the way to do it nowadays. You have to document everything, and I don't blame people for documenting weird stuff. I do that myself. But very strange. And I didn't get scared or anything. I just, is not actually going to try to attack me. He was not big guy, not at all. So I just straightened up and looked at him, and then he looked away into the forest and bushwhacked straight into the forest. And the other guy on the phone, he just 1 minute later, he just jumped in the car and he drove off. And I didn't think more of it because if he wanted to talk to me or do something, he would have done it, not just cut off into the bush. And very strange, there was absolutely no path there. It was a path like 5 to 10 meters further behind or to the other direction, but he was like that. He just cut right into the bush, so it changed direction for me. So yeah, I completed my flower picking, being strange, and I got in my car and I drove off. And there was another guy in a big van. He was the usual energy vampires, trying to slam doors, looking at me angry and slam doors and then look at me again. And I just was weirdo. I thought to myself, what a weird guy. And I drove, continued my car trip, my Sunday car trip. And I drove towards, then I got to Sandvika, drove a little bit around there before I was going to get my Sunday burger. And I was at the parking lot in front of like a beach where we live. And there was many people there because it's starting to get hot in Norway also. Very nice. And after I was in the parking lot, one guy was taking pictures of me, of course, a foreign guy or foreign originality, and a lady was taking pictures of me when I got there. Both were like sneak pictures from far away. I'm very used to it now. It's still, I still get a little put off or estranged out of it, but I'm getting used to it. So then I was sitting in my car, just going through some stuff on my phone. And, I was ready to leave, and then I was drove up to the parking lot, or leaving the parking lot, going into the road. There was like a little queue of cars, and I was waiting for my time to get into the queue to drive, normally leave the parking lot. And then there was this this SUV, I think it was a Volkswagen something, and I had a big space. It was my time to drive, and he was like looking angry at me and sneaking to, shortening the space so I didn't get to drive, just closing the gap, closing the back, and talking to his friend. And closing the gap. So I got a little bit annoyed, so I closed the gap myself, but I didn't want to hurt my car. So I just let him do it, and I went for the next space, or I drove after him then. These were also like two young fellows from different nationality background somehow. Very angry at me. One of them, the guy that was driving, very angry at me for somehow. So some kind of thing he was angry about, so he didn't want to let me in. Very strange behavior. And I drove to the burger shop and got my Sunday burger. And I drove home and trying to relax. I'm still sick. I was still sick then, so I'm coughing a little bit and trying to just kick it. Trying not to go to my computer at work. But it's very hard when you are very engaged and interested in what you're doing to just don't do it when you work from home. So but I managed not to do anything. But later that evening, I was watching YouTube, which I do a lot. I was trying to relax, and I had the balcony door open, and when I was up, I would forget why, but I was probably getting something to drink, and I saw like far away from like 500 meters away, maybe more or something like that, there was a guy just standing on the other side of the road, just looking in my direction. And I reacted to the way he was standing there looking. He looked like he was looking straight into my apartment. So, but okay, that's not illegal. But I just took a mental note of it, and I let it go. But like 5 minutes later, I looked up, and he was still standing there, the exact same position. So now I'm getting curious about what is this, and then I was like taking peeks more and more often, and a few minutes later I looked up, and then he was there. He was still there looking, same exact position, facing. I couldn't see his face fully, but I could see he was facing straight into my open apartment door. So then I just stood up and looked back at him, and we were standing there for like 5 minutes, and then I went out to the balcony, and just to make a point of to let him know that I had seen him and seen that he had been standing there for a long time, I just stood, placed myself on the balcony so I could see straight at him, and I did, and he didn't move, he didn't react, he didn't do anything. He had a little dog with him, but he wasn't paying attention to the dog. He was looking in my direction. So then I started to take some pictures, and I got a pretty good camera, so I could zoom all the way. I have many pictures of him. Just you can see that he's actually looking straight into my apartment. And I stood there for like 15-20 minutes, and he didn't move. He just made some small movements, playing with this dog a little bit, and then he was just standing, making a point of standing to look into my apartment. It was very clear that he was doing this either to let me know that he was looking, or he was actually very in a spy mode, spying for something. And so then I took a lot of pictures, and I had stood there for like 30-35 minutes looking straight at him seeing me seeing him, and he hadn't moved an inch. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna do a sneaky little move. I'm just gonna go down and get in my car and drive over there and see who this guy really was. And I did. I drove. It was more than a minute drive, so I saw who this guy was. But by then he had moved like 20 meters over, sitting down on a bench with a dog. And I parked like 30-40 meters from him, so he saw me and no reaction. And I took more pictures, no reaction. And I made a point of him seeing me take pictures of him. I wanted a reaction, like not a confrontation, but I wanted to see if he would react like I would. Like, what are you doing? No reaction. And I stood there for a few minutes, and I drove around the school to the other side, even closer, and did the same thing. Stood there looking at him, taking more pictures, and no reaction still. And I just sat in the car, just, who is this guy? What's going on? Because it's very strange behavior, I think. and I drove a little further, took a U-turn and drove back, and I took even more pictures of him, and still nothing, no reaction, nada, zip, no acknowledgement of me, other than he saw me. He didn't smile, he didn't look angry, he just looked like blasé, you could say, nothing, like no reaction. Like, and I have never seen this guy before, and I have lived there for 6 years, and I have not ever seen this guy. Big 30 something maybe, big fellow. And then I had okay, so I got well, I had it documented, so then I went home slowly, and then when I drove off, then he started to walk again, and then I stopped again. The roundabout where I live, and a parking lot, another parking lot, to just look, where is this guy going? And I saw he went up a small road straight across the road from where I live. So if he is living there, I think I would have seen him before, because the shopping centers, the grocery stores are right there with the parking lots I stopped at. Never seen him before. So we just jumped off. I like some dog poo-poo. And then he went, he looked like weirded out a bit, like, but nothing, no acknowledgement of me still, but like he was caught in something. That's the feeling I got. So very strange. And I watched him just walk up that little road, and he has not done anything illegal, but he has done his very strange behavior. So when I got home, I just sat down a little bit and thought, should I call the police and let them know? And I did, and they were very interested. They wanted to know what he would look like, and where he went, and what time, etc. And I think they it looked like they sent a car later on, and but nothing. I told them if they want pictures, I got plenty of pictures. So, and she put that down in the report and said, if there's anything you need, we'll call you. I'll just register the number. So that's one the Sunday I got home from vacation, you could say. And these things happen a lot to me. I get very people acting weird around me, doing strange things, and if I do react, when I do react, I have gotten a lot of that. They look at me strange for reacting, and so reactive abuse. And all the time, you have this energy vampire I've talked a lot about. People just in the gym, like walking close to me and pretending to be not paying attention to me, but paying attention to me, pretending to film me. Either they are or they aren't. Guys sitting behind me like this, or flicking something, or slamming the weights, something like this. And when I look at them, they're, oh. If I say something, then it's, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Oh, because I'm supposed to be this crazy guy and be paranoid and imagining things. So they are there to 1, test me, 2, trigger me, 3, blame me, and point the finger at me. So yeah, and this has been going on for many years now. The reason why I started this channel is so I could tell my story and document as much as possible. So I'm gonna drop some pictures in the video from this guy that was looking inside my apartment. Again, I don't know if he lives in my neighborhood, but I have never seen him before. And if he lives up that road he walks, that's very strange, because like I said, that's like 500 meters from where I live, and we have grocery stores, and I have never seen him. But it's possible. But either way, it's very strange behavior. You just stand and stare at me when I get up and make a point of establishing that I've seen you, and then starting to stare back at you for like 35-40 minutes, and you don't move, you don't do anything. That's very awkward and strange. I'm awkward and strange myself, but not in that way. so this is like, I got the feeling he was trying to stake out my apartment and get a look inside, because the balcony door was open and he could look inside. That was the feeling I got. Either that, or he was just standing there to be a creep and wanted me to be creeped out, which I was a little bit, not scared, but a bit weirded out because of a very strange guy staring into my apartment for so long. So that was my one day in my life after washing my car and taking a car drive. Then I had like 3 very weird moments happen back to back, you can say. Not far from where I live, and where I live. So yeah, we are. These are things I live through and have done for very long. So I'll end the video. Hit a like, subscribe, comment, share the video with other people that need to see this, and I'll be back with a new video very soon. Peace out. See you later.